because of Shavua Shechalbo. Like I mentioned last time, Shavua Shechalbo doesn't really apply this year because Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbat, which is pushed off to Sunday. So really, there's no week of the Tisha B'Av. However, it's still good to know these halachot. Ashkenazi custom is to refrain from doing both laundry and wearing freshly laundered clothing from beginning or after Rosh Chodesh Av, since freshly laundered clothing detracts from the appropriate feeling of mourning. According to Sfaradim, however, one may wash and wear freshly laundered clothing until the week of Tisha B'Av. So technically this year, Ashkenazim, they don't wear laundered clothing or do laundry after Rosh Chodesh Av, but Sfaradim, they will be allowed to do laundry and wear freshly laundered clothing this year, even after Rosh Chodesh Av, because these halachot apply to us only the Shavua Shechalbo, and this year there is no Shavua Shechalbo. And Ashkenazi may not give his clothing to a Sephardi to wash between Rosh Chodesh and the week of the Shabbat. If you missed the Yalav Yavo, you don't have to say it again. Yeah, and Ashkenazi may not give his clothing to a Sephardi to wash between Rosh Chodesh and the week of the Shabbat. And a Sephardi too should not give his clothing to an Ashkenazi to wash. 109. One may not wash any clothing. Halacha makes no distinction between one's shirts, one's pants, and one's undergarments. 110 is prohibited to wash clothing even if you don't intend to wear it before Tisha B'Av. Even if you're going to wear it after, it's still asur. You can't wash clothing even without soap. And one may not give his clothing to a non-Jew to have them laundered or to send them to be dry cleaned. Doesn't matter that you're not doing the laundry. Even if somebody else is doing the laundry for you, it's not allowed. 113. One may not clean a non-Jew's clothing because people think you're cleaning your own clothing. However, if it's clear they're cleaning clothing for non-Jew, you may clean them at this time. 114. Spot cleaning. Let's say your shirt has a stain in one area. Spot cleaning is allowed if the spot will not go away unless you clean it right away. Some stains, if you leave them to stay for a while, they won't ever come out. So if you clean it right away, so then it'll come out. So therefore, you're allowed to do spot cleaning during the Shavua Shechalbo. However, if it can wait till after the Shabbat and your clothes won't get ruined, you should wait till after the Shabbat. 115. One may iron his clothing with a hot iron to make them not wrinkly. That's allowed on Shavua Shechalbo. 116. One may also not wash towels, tablecloth, and bed sheets during Tisha B'Av. Only handkerchiefs, things that small handkerchief you keep in your pocket to blow your nose or to wipe your glasses, that you're allowed to wash during Shavua Shechalbo. 117. One may wash a small kid's clothing because they always get dirty and they need a lot of clothes. 118. Repairing and washing a wig should be avoided during this time because a wig is considered like a clothing. So therefore, we don't wash clothing, we don't wash wigs. 119. One may clean the dust from your hat. Let's say your hat is very dusty, you have a hat brush, and you brush your hat. You're allowed to do that during the Shavua Shechalbo. Okay. During the week of Tisha B'Av, one should prepare his clothing in advance. So that way he has enough clothing that's not freshly laundered, right? You're not allowed to wear freshly laundered clothing during the week of Tisha B'Av or Tisha B'Av itself. So therefore, what do you have to do? You have to pre-wear. You have to wear the clothing before, make it used, and then set it aside to wear again during the Shavua Shechalbo or Tisha B'Av. If an Ashkenazi has only freshly laundered clothing or new clothing after Rosh Chodesh Av, he may give his clothes to a Sephardi to wear and then give it back and he'll wear it. So let's say Ashkenazi needs to wear only used clothing during the week of, or during after Shabbat, right? During after Rosh Chodesh Av for the 9 days. So he doesn't have any used clothing. He only has fresh clothing that was laundered. He can give his clothing to a Sephardi. Let the Sephardi wear it for like an hour, and then he'll give it back, and it'll be used already. Now he can wear it in the 9 days. 124. Fresh clothing should be worn during the week from before the week of the Shabbat for about an hour, and then the clothes loses its freshness once you wear it for an hour, and then it'll be considered worn. Then you can wear it. The Ashkenazim can wear it during 9 days, and the Sfaradim can wear it during the Shavua Shechalbo. 125. One who forgot to prepare his clothing before the week of Tisha B'Av may prepare his clothing in Shabbat Chazon itself, right? Let's say Tisha B'Av is Sunday, right? And you want to wear clothes on Shabbat to make them used. That way you can wear them on the Shabbat. You're allowed to do this on Shabbat Chazon. He should do this by first wearing one set of clothing Erev Shabbat, then wear a second set of clothing in the next morning. After he wakes up from his nap, he'll wear another pair of clothing. That way he'll have a bunch of pairs for the week of Tisha B'Av. 126. If he does not have enough time to change into different outfits, he could wear a bunch of clothing on top of the other. He could wear 2-3 shirts. That way at one time. That way they're all considered being used. Okay. Let's say you forgot completely to prepare clothing for Tisha B'Av or Shavua Shechalbo, and you didn't wear them on Shabbat or wear them during the week before, and you need to wear clothing right now. You need to get dressed on Tisha B'Av. You could go and do what? Before Shavua Shechalbo, you didn't prepare, so you could take your clothing, put it on the ground until they lose their freshness by being on the ground. Okay. Some opinions say you gotta put it into the dirt ground. Okay, fine. 128. One who changes his undergarments every day because he gets very sweaty. You're allowed to wear fresh undergarments during Shavua Shechalbo. However, you should try to prepare them in advance as well. Okay. 130. One should not use freshly laundered towels during Shavua Shechalbo, the week of Tisha B'Av, and one should try to wipe his hands on them once before. Okay. 134. The Sephardic custom is to refrain from shaving and cutting one's hair during Shavua Shechalbo, regardless of where the hair is located. Ashkenazim, they're actually machmir. They don't do it from after Tisha B'Av. Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. From Shiva Asar B'Tammuz already, they don't get haircuts or shave. But Sephardi could do it up until Shavua Shechalbo, which means this year, basically, up until Tisha B'Av. Up until Tisha B'Av, basically, you get a haircut because there's no Shavua Shechalbo this year. Okay. A woman is allowed to cut her hair during Shavua Shechalbo. Even though one may not shave his beard, if his beard or mustache interferes with eating, he may trim it. Someone who's making a brit milah, moel, sandak, khatan, bar mitzvah boy, they all must refrain also from shaving during the Shavua Shechalbo. If you're going to lose money if you don't shave because you get laid off from your job, you get fired, or you'll make a bad impression on customers, you're allowed to shave, but you should consult a rabbi to make sure it's permissible. 140. When Tisha B'Av is Shabbat or Sunday, you're allowed to shave the entire week before. Okay, we'll stop over here. Baruch Olam.